Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm Crystal Beth from Denver, Colorado.
There you go. Welcome. Thanks for coming back again, Crystal.
Glad to be here. And you also, you didn't unlock the door. It was locked. I couldn't leave.
Oh.
You really got to jiggle the handle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pull
Oh,
and
it was
push.
a push, not a pull.
Yeah, it's awkward.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sorry. We'll figure it out before next time.
Yeah.
This time, however, we're going to talk about minute 18 of Solo, a Star Wars story, now available on Blu-ray and digital. Solo, minute 18, starts with Han Solo looking at Rio's butt, and it ends with Han Solo asking, what are we looking at? So, Rio's butt is the answer to his own question.
It seemed gratuitous to hold the camera for 1 full minute on Rio's butt, but I think it was a bold choice, and I really think it paid off.
Mm-hmm.
So
When the music swells, and at the end, he's just like, what are we looking at? Like, he's so, he's got that admiration. That's it.
So this is the scene where what I could not find any information on this colonel guy's name, the guy who's kind of the Imperial stooge there.
Do you mean Lieutenant Aleus Balandon?
Balandon?
Aleus, A-L-A-Y-U-S, Balandon.
But that's his first name, Alandis, right?
Aleus.
Aleus
Aleus?
Balandon.
Aleus
Balandon.
Balandon.
Okay.
Please fasten your seatbelts and Aleus Balandon. And he's a lieutenant. Lieutenant.
And he's kind of the face of the Empire in this book. She's like a true believer who's like,
He's the commanding officer. He's definitely, which is interesting because within the Empire, what is it? Lieutenant outranks a captain, I'm assuming. Did he outrank the major that got blown up? That's exactly what happened to the major. He got blown up.
Well, if the major got blown up and a captain's under a major, right? So that would be why Woody Harrelson would then be in charge,
right?
Because he was a captain.
But then is
Major,
lieutenant
higher
or lower than you say higher? Survey says I don't know, but I don't know within the real army.
Wait,
I don't know within the.
There was no lieutenant on MASH, right?
I know that's what I'm basing everything on.
I don't know.
Oh, this is
Isn't it different also between Navy and Army?
It is different.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
This almost came up the other day. I forgot.
Space Force.
Last
Space
week.
Force, too, is different.
Do we think that the Empire would have a good football team? Would they have good sports teams, the Empire?
No.
Yes.
Like the Imperial Academy, like if they're playing against...
They'd be good at crew or like rugby. Like the pretentious sports.
Right. Squash.
Even though rugby's
They'd
not
have a good
really.
Squash team.
Yeah. Bocce.
I think they'd all be
Bocce?
roided up, genetically modified monsters playing for all the Empire teams. So
Yeah.
But I don't know. But if you're interested in you can't have one team be too dominant because then it's like, well, why would anyone watch the games? If literally, so you'd have to have some balance. But yeah.
Anyway, well, this guy's in it. I don't know if he's playing sports. Probably not, because he's mainly a theater guy. Lieutenant Aleus Balandon, played by Hal Fowler.
Hal Fowler.
Both of those names are amazing.
Yeah. They both sound like Star Wars names.
Yeah.
One thing I've been noticing a trend so far is that there doesn't seem to be the Tuckerization of actors that there was to come up with character names. Because I feel like previously in a lot of the other movies, the actors' names were kind of scrambled up to become the character's name. So I don't know if this was had to do with, I'm assuming it had to do with the chaos behind the scenes, because that's what I blame every mysterious thing on. So
like this guy's name isn't Foul Howler.
Yeah, I mean, practically almost has a Star Wars
Aleus
name already.
Balandon.
Yeah.
Well, Lieutenant Aleus Balandon from the Imperial Army and Mimban.
Pablo Hidalgo must have run out of relatives and friends to make into Star Wars characters. He's done like thousands of them by this point. So
yeah.
Do you think
Hey,
he's just going
Pablo,
through like, oh, I'm
call
going
us.
through like my
Just come on.
favorite, British poets of the 17th century. So all the, is he just kind of?
Have you ever read Balandon in the original Mimbanese?
Well, they have all the Star Wars name generators now. You don't even have to
Oh,
think
there you
about
go.
it.
Oh, that's sad that there's all these naming opportunities. They should be selling those at the very least, saying,
Right?
it's like buying a star. You get to buy a Star Wars character to be named after you. That's a great idea. Why aren't they doing that? If they're using
Right?
randomizers,
Disney, you can make more money.
yeah, when have they not wanted to do that? When they put out Solo?
Too soon. That's amazing.
So anyway,
right. But Elias Balandon, Hal Fowler, mainly a theater guy. Very, very. It's interesting how many theater actors are in this.
Yeah.
But he was in some. He's an uncredited Russian general in The King's Man, which is out now.
Oh.
And he was also in. Wait a minute. Somebody else was involved with this too. Wonderland. Wonder.land.
You have to buy that now?
Oh, maybe it was just him. No, it's a thing that Anna Francolini. We talked about her a week or two ago. She was the pale, sad imperial officer who lets them through the gate. I'm not going to flip back and find it, but
the one that's like stick the thing in the draw and yeah.
She and Hal Fowler.
Falthina.
Or there you go. They're both in Wonder.land, which is a reimagining of Alice in Wonderland story by Damon Albarn from Blur.
Oh.
Wow.
And he did a like this kind of complicated thing that was mostly poorly received, I think. But once I saw it in her credits, I'm like, in his credits just now, and I was like, wait a minute. I was just reading about Wonder.land.
Huh.
Small world.
Anyway, the Southern Marshlands. Oh, the guy I couldn't find was the guy who. So I read about Lieutenant Elias Balandon, and he was like, give him the what for, and then there's another guy who steps up and is like, to the Southern Marshlands, like. That guy? Cannot find that guy. Any information on that guy?
Wow.
There's like probably like a corporal, maybe.
Never actually made it to the marshlands. He's not even really. He's just like really wants people to go there.
Yeah. It's like, guys, have you ever checked out the marshlands? It's really cool. Follow me.
Birthday parties there.
The marshlands is a hotspot. The local. It is a swamp planet, so everything's named like the marshland or the swamp. Did you guys ever see the movie 1917? I just saw that film recently on the cable.
Did you like it?
I did like it. I thought it was very, there's a kind of visual gimmick to it. But I thought it was very good.
That's the one where he goes like running through like on the front line and the dirt's like going everywhere.
Yeah, basically the gimmick of the movie is that it's all in one continuous shot, theoretically.
Oh,
so
yes, I remember.
It's
when
like one continuous, it's all stitched together with CGI and stuff. But it is also a good example of trench warfare, and they did a better job. I guess not surprisingly, the movie was focused on trench warfare, so that would be a big, going for realism and stuff like that.
Right.
Having just seen it, it was, interesting contrast. But we've never really seen this type of a battle in live action Star Wars before, where it's like mud and trenches, and it's almost like Hoth, but
yeah,
right.
dirty
dark and dirty
instead of icy
and
dark
foggy.
And dirty on Hoth,
or salty like in The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah.
So yes, and so Han gets into an argument with the guy. He starts pointing out that they're the hostile ones. They're kind of the bad guys in this situation,
right?
And it seems like he's not wrong, but it's a weird time to be bringing it up. Like, what's the guy gonna? You know what? You're right. Forget it. The battle's off. Like what's
truce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I never looked at it that way. So Yeah. That. But I do like that they're blurring the line between being the good guys and the bad guys, and
Right. Well, you knew
Right.
pretty much that the Empire was the bad guys still.
And they're showing that Han is, a rebel and likes to think outside the box and not follow orders.
that's
Yeah,
true.
There you go.
This is closer to a Finn situation.
I do like his mud comment, though. When he's like, oh, more mud.
Yeah.
I also like, we didn't comment on this earlier, I actually like his outfit. I like his General Veers kind of the mud helmet. It's a good, like you said, I know how much you hate when people have the open-faced mask
sandwich
type thing, but so I guess they kind of got around, like, it seems like he should be a stormtrooper, but they kind of get around that by having him wear like the open-faced mask. But we've seen him before, so
established,
it's established. So I think they should just had a regular stormtrooper face, but then just cut like a diamond, just so you can see his.
Right, and then put lights in there too, so it's shining on his face, like Battlestar Galactica style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like and that, remember that chest plate is also a snowtrooper and General Veers, so it's a good like.
And Dengar as well.
It's that's true. So it's consistency, which is good.
Yeah.
Utilizing parts.
Yeah.
And I do like then that when Han goes over to find Woody and his gang, Woody and the gang, they're not really hiding. They're doing the hiding in plain sight. If they were being sneaky and trying to hide and talk and like, we can get that. They're just standing there talking out loud because that's the way, to hide. Nobody's going to notice you if you're just standing there talking. And especially he's wearing
plain sight.
Yeah, he's wearing a captain's outfit, and so nobody's going to be like, oh.
Yeah.
So I think that's great, and it plays again like in a couple of minutes. That'll come back where like when the threat of getting found out doesn't seem to be much of a threat at all.
This is the scene. This is where later on, Han Solo gets the idea of dressing up in an enemy costume for when they dress up as stormtroopers in the Death Star. This is where he's like, I should file that idea away.
Right? He's like, I've done this before.
And use it again. I think it's kind of funny that like Han comes up to Becket and is like, hey man, come with, I want to come with you and all that stuff like that. It's funny because if you think about other situations where like this is like that scene in Indiana Jones where he's worn a Nazi costume, and picture like one of the Nazis coming up to him and going, no man, I want to go with you, come on, let's go to get like
right.
It's a weird thing to have a guy wanting to join the like if you were watching the Space Woody Harrelson movie, this would be very weird to have a background character suddenly come up to him and start talking to him about wanting to join the team out of nowhere, So anyway,
I would like to see that, most of the way through. Just have somebody that that your hero is up against, just being like, no, I'm on your side, let's go.
You could totally do it in so many situations, like where the good guy is clearly gonna win. And instead of just keep coming out and attacking the good guy, like a lot of these shows do, one guy should go, "Hey man, I'm on your side now. Like, I'm gonna help you get out of here. I'd like, to.
I'd like that.
I'm sure people are gonna be like, "Well, what about this? They did that and that." But I can't think of an example, especially where the way they don't play it. Like,
well, it would seem so like a cheat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, they were about to get killed, and suddenly one of the bad guys just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to help you instead. And then they ran off.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, in Inglourious Bastards, that kind of thing happens, but that's because they're pretending to be like Nazi sympathizers.
Right.
And then I'm like racking my brain for all the movies I've seen to see where and when this might have happened, because it seems like it should have, but not in the fun way.
I think there was a movie once where Superman had briefly teamed up with Lex Luthor to try to outwit these supervillains, and then when they got there, Lex Luthor was like, he's going to try to trick you. Like, he immediately turned on Superman and went to that's not really the same type thing.
No.
But
he's a poisonous snake.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Why
That's
did it have
that
to be
kind of
snakes?
thing. and my enemy's a snake. I love Tendiwe's perm.
Yeah.
The natural hair. It reminds me of the actual perm that Amy Sedaris has in The Mandalorian.
Named in honor of her daughter, Ripley.
There you go.
Same.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently they were going for a kind of Angela Davis Black Panthers,
Right.
70s kind of a vibe. And, I definitely think it...
I think it looks good. It weirdly suits, even though, because the 70s vibe is immediately what I think when I see it, it suits the movie very well.
Sure. Yeah. Well, they're like kind of proto-revolutionaries.
Yeah. But I'll save this for later. Since we're talking about her now, I don't know. In that John Kasdan thing, he says one of his notes was, in retrospect, Tandy Newton may actually have been too good and too interesting as Val.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, it was always in the design of the story that Becket would lose his trusted crew members during the Convey X job gone wrong and be forced to rely on newbies like Han and Chewie, and this would open the door for Lando and Kira L3, etc. But Tandy is so compelling to watch that the death of her character feels a little bit like a cheat.
It does.
Yeah.
And I said this when I was watching it last night to my friend. I was like, the whole reason they're doing this is to get the money to be able to live their lives together and flourish.
Right.
Yeah.
And for her to be like, nope, for it to work, I gotta go. And she just, not even like a thought, she leaves, but like the point of it was that they could be free together.
Right.
Nothing ever came up about like sacrificing something for someone. And they didn't end up getting it anyway, which sucks, but it does make her death seem cheap.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, Miss Newton, how do you say her first name again?
Tendiwe.
Tendiwe. Apparently, you're not alone. She agreed with you. She apparently was publicly critical, saying that in the original version of the script, like, it wasn't clear if she had died or not. Like, it was left kind of vague where she could possibly have survived, but because they wanted it to end on a bigger moment, they changed it so that she was definitely dead. And she felt, as I guess if you think about it, the first black woman character in Star Wars, and that she ended in such a kind of, kind of way.
She didn't have like a parachute or a glider or something.
Yeah.
What kind of rebel thief are you?
I don't know. Maybe like we'll have to watch those minutes carefully. Maybe she's been trying to get out. She's been trying to get away from him this whole time.
Oh.
And then she plays this up as a perfect opportunity. You leave me here on the bridge. I'll take care of this explosion thing.
Ooh, I gotta go.
Yeah. Oh, look at that explosion.
Now, who is the bad guy in this? Was he keeping her in a prisoner type situation, or was she conning him? And this was a way of kind of getting out and also covering her tracks where he wouldn't go try to find her or whatever,
Both.
That's the movie that we need to see.
Here's something else I learned. The character Val grew up on the planet Solarine. Solarine. For those days when you've had too much sun. Solarine.
The soothing sounds of Solarine. No, I don't know.
Well, it's funny you say that because her father was a musician. And in fact, her name was inspired by the instrument he played, the Valacord.
Oh, look at that.
I don't know if
that's why he wants to play it.
Her full name is Valacord, or if that just means her full name is Val, and it was just a short from her Val.
Well, that makes it real weird when she keeps talking about how he doesn't know how to play a Valacord.
Right. See?
She's trying to get away because they're not having good sex. That's what this has come down to.
That's what she faked blowing herself up.
It's all innuendos. I'm going to learn to play the Val. He's like, I'll never learn how to play that. And she's like, I know.
Oh, but you better get to the Sith Medical Center for that sick burn.
You need some Solarine on that.
Some Solarine.
Yes. Val.
I have some other information about Woody Harrelson's character. Well,
yes.
when it was revealed that Woody Harrelson was going to be in the movie, there was a lot of online speculation that he was going to play a character by the name of Garrus Shrike.
We talked about Gareth Shrike.
Oh, did we?
A couple of weeks ago.
Okay, I didn't remember. But yeah. So, but then when I guess at one point Woody Harrelson was on like Jimmy Kimmel or something and said, "Yeah, I play a character named Becket," and then all those fans' hopes were dashed once again. Once again, the EU was left in the two.
Stepped on.
Always the bridesmaid. They totally got corsoed in that situation.
Yeah. But interestingly, they do. I mean, he ends up playing a character that's a lot like a combination of. Gareth Shrike was a little bit like Lady Proxima, a little bit like Becket for Han Solo's.
Growth.
The original Legends Han Solo's character development.
Mm-hmm.
He was the kind of Fagin of that kind of group that Han Solo ran with.
Similar. Excuse me.
Oh.
So a similar type of character, kind of mentor, crime mentor.
Yes.
I thought you were trying to say another Star Wars character's name.
Crime mentor.
No, sneeze.
Right.
Yeah. Apparently, he was also modeled on Long John Silver from Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Which I've never read. Have you guys either read Treasure Island?
I just read it the other day.
Oh,
really?
Wow.
I've read it before, but I read a slightly abridged version to my kids.
Oh, nice. I read it in high school.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the restaurant, I understand.
It's a bummer.
High school? High school, the restaurant?
No, Long John Silver's. It has nothing to do with the restaurant chain Long John Silver's.
As far as I know, no.
Okay.
Arthur Treacher? He had something to do with it.
Fish and chips. Mm-hmm.
But yes, though we were going to. There's multiple versions of the movie that we're planning on watching. One, there's like the middle ground one is the kind of 50s
Muppets.
We watched the Muppets one. We ended up watching the Muppet one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like an old black and white one, and then there's like a middle ground Disney kind of 50s one. Then
Bobby Driscoll.
But
you're talking about Rio again?
It's good. But Rio's butt. That was all I had for minute 18. Do you guys have anything else going on there?
I think I'm good.
I'm all about the hair, and I talked about that.
Yeah, it's good hair.
Alden Ehrenreich has good head of hair on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Especially considering he's in the military. You think they would have made him give that more of a military crop?
Well, he's been there for 3 years, so they probably cropped it and then it's grown in a little bit. Once you get out of basic training, right, you can grow it out.
He should have had like a big like Vietnam era like Fu Manchu mustache.
Yeah, totally.
That would be awesome with the 70s stuff too.
Right.
He's addicted to death sticks.
And Fortunate Son as the little the AT-AT carriers fly in.
But in hoodies, Sice Noodles singing Fortunate Son.
Please. I would like that. You know what else I would like? If you go to StarWarsMinute.com/merch.
Oh, I'd like that too.
You'll see, look behind Alex if you're watching it on video, you'll see a beautiful tapestry there of, it's a Sgt. Pepper kind of thing. Look, if you look closely, I'm there too. I look like this. I'm right there. And
I love that I've been looking at it the whole time and I'm still like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
right
depending on the
Brio,
resolution of your screen.
Where I belong. But there's a beautiful Sgt. Pepper Star Wars Minute kind of a mashup thing that's there. You can get that on a tapestry, on a shirt, on a what have you, a skateboard, a mug, all kinds of stuff. So go check that out, buy some stuff. Come back tomorrow for a brand new Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute?
Star Wars Minute.